So, the Libyan regime is facing more and more protesters and responding with deadly force. Um, a year ago, Gaddafi couldn't have imagined the current state of affairs in Africa, with the revolutions in Tunisia and Egypt spreading like wildfire. And now in Libya, Muammar Gaddafi has ruled for 41 years. He was a colonel in the Libyan military, and he and other junior military officers overthrew Libya's one and only king. And he established his own form of socialism, Islamic socialism. Um, Now, in the decades since, Gaddafi has been a primary force behind the idea of pan-Arabian and pan-African movements, as well as a brutal dictator who's crushed Libyan dissent both at home and abroad by way of assassinations. Yet, he has the audacity to offer an annual prize called the Al-Gaddafi International Prize for Human Rights. So just prior to 9/11 and in the years since, Gaddafi has become something of a friend to the West, condemning the terrorist acts and offering to help with the Bush war on terrorism. Just another friendly dictator working on behalf of the United States. Not that Gaddafi has popped up in the United States like Mubarak and Mubarak's current Egyptian military dictatorship. But the irony here is that Gaddafi has cleansed his international image and insulated his regime from the external threats he faced. For instance, during Reagan's reign, the Libyan leader is witnessing the first signs of his power crumbling from within. In the wake of the revolutions in Tunisia and Egypt, Gaddafi has taken quite a different tack with his country's protests, immediate violence. He was reported by media outlets such as The Telegraph that Gaddafi has turned helicopter gunships and snipers on the Libyan population, causing the death of hundreds in the peaceful protests. Some of the tweets from the Libyan youth movement, one of them said, "This regime is like no other. We are all being slaughtered now on the streets. They are killing anyone and everyone." Protests have broken out in Tripoli now, with the Libyan youth movement proclaiming finally Tripoli woke up. And according to protesters, 20,000 are in the streets of Benghazi, Libya's second largest city. Protesters have been clashing with police forces there, who are also killing the quote-unquote peaceful protesters. The youth protesters have taken to the streets for many of the same reasons vocalized by their Egyptian and Tunisian counterparts: unemployment and the desire for democratic reform of a dictatorial regime. Not too far from what we've got here in the United States. But the enormity of what's going on in Libya is quite a bit more astounding than what happened in Egypt and Tunisia, for the simple reason that Gaddafi's security forces are particularly adept at crushing dissent, and the protesters have not relented in the face of immediate violence. So basically, these people are going to continue to protest like they did in Egypt and Tunisia. They don't want to give up after all this has happened without getting what they want. They want the reign to be over, but as stubborn as they are about continuing on with their protest, Gaddafi is the same way about killing them. So they're just going to continue to kill these people until there aren't enough to mean anything, and until the protest dies out, or until they find a way to overthrow the government. So things are really getting out of hand. Tons of people have died, and I watched a lot of these videos on YouTube. There's quite a few of them. I'll put a link up. Actually, I think if you click this red box on the screen here, I'll try to put the link there so you can go to this video. I don't own the video. It's not my content, so I'm not going to post the video here. But I'll link you to it, and you can take a look at it there. You can see what the army and the police are doing to the peaceful protesters in the streets of Libya. It's pretty graphic, so if you don't want to see that kind of thing, don't watch it. But if you do, it's there. Take a look at it.